Ever wondered what lies behind the tough, stone-faced characters of Charles Bronson? From battling coal mines to becoming a Hollywood legend, Bronson's life was filled with unexpected twists, intense personal struggles, and a passion for art that few knew about. Stay tuned as we uncover the man behind the myth, revealing the secrets and stories that made Charles Bronson an enduring icon of cinema. You won't want to miss this. Charles Bronson's enduring legacy. A cinematic icon. Charles Bronson's daughter confirmed what many had long suspected after his death 20 years ago. In the shadow of the 1970s, an unexpected image emerged, stunning the world of cinema. Bronson, with his rugged appearance as if always ready to leap into battle, became the most formidable icon on the silver screen. A street thug with a look as if carved from stone, he captured the hearts of viewers, becoming one of the most haunting stars of cinema. The question he posed, if the police don't protect us, must we do it ourselves? Echoed for 20 years, reminding us of the power of a legendary story. I recently rewatched Death Wish and was once again captivated by how Bronson executed his character's actions without warning, summons, or dialogue in those dusty and violent films. Bronson's portrayal of Paul Kersey, an ordinary citizen dragged into an unwanted battle after tragic events befell his family, became an icon of ordinary people fighting against violence. This not only highlighted the transformation of a character, but also reflected society's desire for liberation from the disappointments of violence. The audience, albeit indirectly, found a strange delight in the murder scenes on the screen, elevating Bronson's name to new heights as a shining star of cinema. Charles Bronson reached the pinnacle of his career with an unbelievable salary of $2 million per movie, an astounding achievement propelled by his iconic role in Death Wish. This character transcended the limits of cinema to become an indispensable part of popular culture. And here we are, ready to delve into the life of one of the most famous figures in film history. Let's sit down and begin. The artistic soul and complex persona of Charles Bronson. When the stage lights dimmed, Charles Bronson struggled with the long shadow cast by his screen image. In 1977, he expressed his frustration, comparing this experience to looking at himself through distorted carnival mirrors, where his image was stretched and weirdly deformed, obscuring his true identity behind the facade of his strong, easily transformable characters. Beneath his tough exterior, Bronson hid a complex and refined soul, expressed through his unexpected passion for art. He spent time creating oil paintings and clay sculptures, a stark contrast to the rugged characters he portrayed on screen. Despite immersing himself in the world of art, the shadow of the image that director Ingmar Bergman attributed to him, a man with a rugged face seemingly forever associated with violence, continued to haunt him. Even after Bronson's death, mystery still enveloped his personal life, concealing secrets that remained undiscovered. Over 2 decades later, his daughter began to open up, revealing long-buried truths still kept from the public eye. Fans have always been captivated by the strength and allure Bronson brought to each of his roles, but these revelations promise to offer a deeper insight into the man behind the legend. In the vast tapestry of cinema, Charles Bronson remains an iconic figure, both for his on-screen prowess and the complex artistic personality that lies beneath. Early life and acting career of Charles Bronson. A genuine masculine image stood out from Hollywood starting on November 3, 1921, when Charles Bronson was born, carrying the bloodline of his Lithuanian father, Valeris, who succumbed to black lung disease when Bronson was just a 10-year-old boy. The loss of his father, who had toiled underground in the coal mines of Eckley, Pennsylvania, left a deep imprint on Bronson's soul. Growing up in Scotch Hill, a desolate coal camp, he became one of 15 children in the family, facing a harsh life from a young age. Bronson's early years were steeped in hardship, and by the age of 16, he had begun to follow in his father's footsteps, working in the suffocating darkness of the coal mines for a meager wage. He often recounted bitter memories of this time, describing it as a grueling labor process that left indelible marks on his body, from calloused hands to permanent scars on his legs and torso. Recalling those days, Bronson shared, "I never got the smell of coal out of my nose," a comment that underscored the profound and lasting impact of that period on his soul. His career in the coal mines ended when he joined the United States Army Air Forces in 1943, participating in World War II. Bronson served in the 76th Flexible Gunnery Training Squadron and in 1945 as a gunner in a Boeing B-29 Superfortress of the 39th Bomb Group based in Guam, carrying out combat missions against Japan. He completed 25 missions and was awarded the Purple Heart for wounds received in battle. His enlistment in 1943 was a pivotal turning point in his life, transforming him from a young man who once stood on a street corner with a milk bottle in hand to someone who had found purpose and meaning in his life. After ending his military service with valor and honor, Charles Bronson embarked on a new chapter in 1946, returning to civilian life, unaware that a legendary journey was about to begin. Initially, he tried his hand at baking in Philadelphia, and then worked as a bingo caller at an amusement pier in Atlantic City. These seemingly unrelated jobs were the first stepping stones on his path to pursuing an acting dream. Bronson's acting career started to take shape when he teamed up with Jack Klugman, another veteran who would later achieve success and win a Golden Globe. Together, they shared a Hollywood dream and lived in a room in New York in 1947, tirelessly working and seeking opportunities in post-war America. Klugman remembered the early days of Bronson as a starving actor who once sold his blood for $5 to survive, but never lost his perseverance and commitment to the profession. Bronson faced many challenges, including overcoming the language barrier with his strong Slavic accent, which initially posed a difficulty but later became a distinctive feature of his acting. He recalled memories of being rejected at auditions for not pronouncing words correctly, including a memorable incident with the word heroin. However, these experiences, though sometimes disheartening, only fueled his determination to overcome all obstacles and assert himself in the competitive world of acting. By 1949, at the age of 27, Bronson was ready to prove himself, starting a journey that would make him one of Hollywood's most legendary actors. The relentless efforts of Charles Bronson in Hollywood. In the colorful and relentless world of Hollywood, Charles Bronson marked an important milestone in his life when he married an ambitious 18-year-old actress. This event was not only a personal achievement, but also coincided with a significant development in his acting career. Over the following 2 years, Bronson dedicated himself to honing his acting skills, moving from Philadelphia to Los Angeles, gradually expanding and developing his career. His tireless commitment led to his first roles, which he humorously described as construction workers, punks, and punchy fighters. Although small, these roles laid a solid foundation for his later career, turning him into one of Hollywood's most enduring legends and icons. During the 1950s, Bronson appeared in 31 films, starting with minor roles alongside Hollywood stars like Gary Cooper, Burt Lancaster, and Randolph Scott. He began to gain attention from the industry, especially after his role as a mute henchman alongside Vincent Price in the 1953 horror film House of Wax. This role brought him peculiar enjoyment and recognition in his career. Bronson's early years in Hollywood were marked by personal quirks, such as chewing tobacco and spitting into a spoon stolen from Western movie sets, which caused no small trouble for his first wife. These habits, though somewhat odd, added depth to Bronson's character, showcasing a man who was not only a talented actor, but also a brave individual willing to face and embrace the unusual in life. In the early stages of his career, Bronson faced the challenge of not being recognized under his real name, Charles Bokinski, in his first 20 films. He overcame this hurdle over time to become an indelible icon in the film industry. The transformation into Charles Bronson in 1954, marked by his role in a film with Alan Ladd, was a strategic move to avoid association with the Eastern European roots of his birth name, Charles Bokinski. This decision reflected his keenness amidst the widespread anti-communist sentiment of the time, believing that a more American-sounding surname would help him navigate professional challenges more easily. Bronson's screen presence, described by John Huston as a hand grenade ready to explode, became unmistakable. With squinted eyes and a tightly pursed mouth, Bronson conveyed a unique strength that made him stand out in the competitive Hollywood film industry. This distinct trait became one of the most notable hallmarks of his career in the 1960s. Despite being dissatisfied with his recurring role in the ABC television series, Bronson humorously shared that he felt like the second banana in the flat bulb's glow. A significant turning point came with the opportunity to work with director John Sturges and the role of Bernardo O'Reilly in The Magnificent Seven. This role affirmed Bronson's ability to create tension on screen. The film, featuring an outstanding cast including Yul Brynner, Steve McQueen, and James Coburn, became a major hit in Europe. Bronson also played a pivotal role in The Great Escape, the famous war prisoner film directed by John Sturges, marking a valuable reunion with Steve McQueen and James Coburn. In the movie, Bronson portrayed Flight Lieutenant Danny Tunnel King Valinsky, showcasing not only his acting skills, but also conveying his personal experiences to the character. He openly discussed his battle with claustrophobia, a condition stemming from his early days working in the mines. Personal life and relationships of Charles Bronson, and evolved into a long-lasting bond despite the complexities off-screen. Bronson's previous marriage to Harriet Tendler, the mother of his two children, Tony and Suzanne, ended in divorce in 1965, marking a new chapter in his personal life and career. When Charles Bronson and Jill Ireland married on October 5, 1968, it was not just the union of two hearts, but also the merging of two souls in sync with art and life. The wedding took place at a time when Bronson had firmly established his international status as a box office phenomenon, with memorable roles in Battle of the Bulge, 1965, The Dirty Dozen, 1967, and Sergio Leone's Once Upon a Time in the West, 1968. Particularly, he gained love from audiences in Japan, France, and Italy, where he was known as Il Bruto, the Ugly One. This nickname, however, did not fully capture the multifaceted complexity of Bronson's character, which Ireland discovered in their relationship, a blend of tenderness and primal strength. Interestingly, Michael Winner, a former lover of Ireland and later a director for Bronson, played a crucial role in shaping his career. The Winner recognized the unique potential in Bronson's acting, driven by repressed rage. Their collaboration on Death Wish became a significant milestone, establishing Bronson not just as a powerful force in cinema, but also sparking lively debates on the issues of violence and the ethics of vigilantism. Bronson's role as Paul Kersey, an architect in New York who becomes a vigilant after a family tragedy, challenged Hollywood heavyweights like Clint Eastwood, Burt Lancaster, George C. Scott, and Frank Sinatra. The role highlighted the divisive and provocative nature of the film, painting a multicolored portrait of Bronson as a complex character with a profound impact on Hollywood cinema. His personal life, international relations, and his role in Death Wish enriched his legacy and portrayed a fuller, more complex image of one of the great icons of film. The decision to cast Charles Bronson in the lead role of Death Wish was not easy. His agent, Paul Kohner, initially encouraged Bronson to decline the part, concerned about the film's potential impact on audiences due to its message about taking the law into one's own hands. Despite these ethical considerations, Bronson felt conflicted about the character, initially thinking someone like Dustin Hoffman might be more suitable. However, Michael Winner played a critical role in convincing Bronson to accept the role, continuously reassuring him of the project's value. Death Wish was released on July 24, 1974, and became a box office success, earning $22 million against a production budget of only $3.7 million. Despite its financial success, the film did not escape criticism. Brian Garfield, the author of the 1972 book on which the movie was based, expressed concern over choosing Bronson for the role of Paul Kersey, believing Bronson's tough guy image would immediately suggest the use of violence. Garfield was also worried about the film's potential to encourage vigilantism in real life. He had initially envisioned Death Wish under the direction of Sidney Lumet, with Jack Lemmon in the lead role, a casting choice opposed to Bronson. However, Michael Winner dismissed these concerns, asserting that a story about extreme vigilantism would naturally be portrayed through a violent film. The controversy surrounding Death Wish and Bronson's decision to take on the lead role reflected the ethical perspectives and artistic considerations within the film industry. The film's success highlighted the complex relationship between the social impact of the entertainment industry and artistic expression. Bronson was famously averse to being probed by journalists, becoming particularly sensitive to film critics and unauthorized biographers. A notable example is Stephen Whitney's biography, Charles Bronson Superstar, the real man behind the tough guy image, which paints an unflattering picture of Bronson's personal life and his relationship with Jill Ireland. Bronson attempted to block the book's release, even threatening to sue and trying to buy up all copies to prevent its spread after the first printing. Harriet Bronson, his ex-wife, also witnessed Bronson's disdain for critics, indicating he did not value their opinions because they did not contribute financially to the film. Another notable encounter was with film critic Jay Cox, who wrote a critical review of The Mechanic and received a threatening response from Bronson. In a 1974 interview with Roger Ebert, Bronson surprisingly stated that one way or another he would settle with Cox, showcasing the extent to which he received and reacted to criticism. These interactions between Bronson and the world around him, from agents to critics and even unauthorized biographers, reflect a complex aspect of the entertainment industry, where fame and public perception create both opportunities and challenges for artists seeking recognition through their art. Charles Bronson's reflections on the film industry, directors, and critics provide an insightful and multi-dimensional view of the man behind the tough screen characters. His candid comments and often sarcastic demeanor revealed the challenges and frustrations he faced within the Hollywood machine, exposing a rich personality behind the glamour. The final years of Charles Bronson. The final years of Charles Bronson's life were marked by significant upheavals and personal challenges. In 1994, Bronson starred in Death Wish Me, The Face of Death, portraying a retired police officer at the age of 72. He dedicated his last working years to film and television, eventually retiring at the age of 77. Bronson married actress Kim Weeks, who remained by his side until his death at the age of 81 at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles. Bronson's final chapter was marred by tumultuous relationships and allegations of manipulation and obstruction from his family during his last moments. Despite his fiercely private nature, his battle with respiratory failure, metastatic lung cancer, and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease became public knowledge, marking a painful end for someone who valued his privacy deeply. Financially, Bronson left a significant legacy, showcasing his sharp negotiation skills within the film industry. He secured substantial revenue percentages from video rentals of his later films, amassing a fortune valued at over $60 million in today's currency. This business acumen reflected his intelligence and foresight, not just in acting, but in protecting his assets and interests in a ruthless industry. Earnings from his notable film career, spanning over 100 movies, allowed Bronson to acquire a considerable fortune, including a 33-room mansion atop Bel Air, a vast 260-acre farm in Vermont, and a luxurious estate in Malibu. Unsurprisingly, the division of his estate led to conflicts and disputes, reflecting the complexity of sharing assets between material possessions and legal battles. An oil painting of a gold rush town owned by his ex-wife, Harriet, exemplifies Bronson's connection to his past, an aspect of his life he never fully transcended. Such personal artifacts add a humane layer to the tough on-screen image of Bronson, who defined his career with a rugged persona. Despite his tough exterior, Bronson's fellow actors revealed a gentler side of him. A lovely anecdote involving Kurt Russell, who gifted Bronson a remote-controlled airplane on his birthday during the filming of Guns of Diablo in 1965, highlights Bronson's reserved nature. Russell shared this moment on Jimmy Kimmel's show in 2018, noting that Bronson, rather than expressing gratitude openly, just looked down and walked away. However, months later, on Russell's 13th birthday, Bronson surprised him with a memorable gift, a skateboard. This deep relationship between Bronson and his fellow actors offers a more complex view of the man beyond the tough exterior seen in his roles. Bronson's decisiveness and willingness to confront were not limited to the screen. The story of him standing up to protect Russell, ensuring the teenager could skateboard on the lot despite security's objections, emphasized his persistence and protective instinct. Charles Bronson, both on and off screen, remained a formidable force, a character who not only made his mark in film history, but also left a profound impression on fans and colleagues. The blend of talent, reserve, and courage created a rich and diverse legacy for Charles Bronson, one of Hollywood's greatest actors. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the remarkable life and career of Charles Bronson. From his humble beginnings in a coal mining town to becoming one of Hollywood's most iconic tough guys, Bronson's story is one of perseverance, complexity, and unparalleled talent. His legacy continues to inspire fans and actors alike, showcasing the power of determination and the multifaceted nature of true artistry. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your feedback is a great encouragement for us to continue producing quality content. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fascinating insights into the lives of legendary figures. Thank you, and see you next time.